Yes, that's right, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV on the trapeze. Yes, trapezing on a catamaran is definitely what it's all about. I'm sailing today with Holly and I'm going to take you through everything you need to know to get out on the trapeze so you can enjoy this flying sensation. And I'm also going to show you how to avoid this happening. Oh, yeah. Oh. Because that does slow the boat down somewhat and isn't very efficient.
Okay, so before we can start, we are going to need a trapeze harness. Your trapeze harness will look something like this. Firstly, and most importantly, we have got the hook, the spreader bar. If at all possible, your spreader bar should feature a quick release. So by pulling the release, the hook is then free to come off, freeing you from wherever it is you may be stuck. From the spreader bar, this is just going to some webbing straps so that we can tighten it. Then we have our leg loops. We have a back strap, which will clip in, and that will provide us with some back support. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna look down the harness. We can see our two leg loops, and we're just gonna step into those. And then we can just pull it up. We can then put the shoulder strap over and we'll just clip that shut. Okay, so that would be stage one. Stage two is going to be tightening it, and the most important part to have tight is the actual hook. To get the hook tight, the easiest way is to kind of push the hook over to one side and then to pull the strap tight, and then do the same on the other side. So when we're tightening the hook, we want this in the same position as where your belt would be on your trousers, so it's really in the center of you. And then when the hook is tight, if we try pulling the hook away, we can see that it doesn't move outwards. That is going to make things so much easier. Okay, then with that tightened, we've then got the leg straps, and basically we're just going to take the slack out of those. We're not cranking them up really tight. The back strap we're going to leave loose until we're actually going out on the water. But when we get to that stage, we're just going to pull it. We're just going to lean forward slightly and pull it to take up the slack, and that is going to give us our back support. Okay, so that's the harness. On a Hobie 16, the trapeze system is very simple. We've got the trapeze wire that comes down from the mast. This will go to a handle with an eyelet underneath the handle, and then running through the handle we actually have our trapeze line. Onto the end we have our J&H handle, which is something else we can grab hold of. And then the other side of the eyelet, we've got our rope lock. These are commonly known as dog bone adjusters, and this is what we use to adjust the height of the trapeze. This is going to make a big difference to how easy it is. And then that goes to elastic that runs under the boat and connects to one on the other side. Okay, so what we want for your first time out trapezing is, if we put our hand on the sidebar, thumb pointing upwards, when we pull this down, when the rope lock goes up against the eye, we want it to end that high up. So this is a little bit too long. So we need to adjust it. We can do that just by pushing the rope through to unlock it. And in fact, we're going to pull the rope through here and here. And very important is that the rope lock has the rope crossed. Check out this video here to see the method of rigging your trapeze lines. We've got the jib up on the boat, and that is so that we've got the rig tension on, making sure that the rig is as tight as possible. This is very important if we're going to be practicing trapezing on the land. We're going to start off sitting on the boat just behind the shroud. This will be our normal crewing position, and from here I'm actually sitting on the sidebar and we can get hooked on. So to hook on, we're just going to pull this down and onto the hook. So with this adjusted correctly, there's not much space between the rope lock and the eye. For a Hobie 16, what we're going to do is we're going to hold the handle with our back hand, and we're going to put our front hand on the side of the boat. Okay, and the further forwards we put our front hand, the more space that's going to give us to get out, and it's going to make it easier. So from there, holding on to the handle, pushing it away slightly to make sure that we're definitely hooked on, we can get to this half trapezing position where we're hanging on the wire. Our weight is definitely on there. I'm using my hand not to hold my weight, but if I release the pressure with my hand, what happens is my feet go up. So I'm just kind of pulling in to keep my feet down, hand on the side of the boat. We're then going to take the opposite foot, which is the back foot, and we're then going to push out, bringing the front foot out. And to start with, on a Hobie 16 especially, going to have the back leg straight and the front leg slightly bent. And then once we're out, we can start to straighten our legs slightly if we feel secure, like if we don't feel that we're getting pulled in one direction or the other, we can let go of the handle, and then there we are. We are trapezing. Okay, so bending your legs. This is important if you feel like you're getting pulled in a direction. Because of the amount of mast rake on the Hobie 16, because the mast's really far back, you will a lot of the time feel a pull towards the back, which if you're not ready for it, like if your back leg's bent and your front leg's straight, then you might feel that you just start heading off towards the back of the boat. So just feel which way the pull is and then bend the leg opposite so that you're bracing with the leg from going in that direction. Okay, once you're out on the trapeze, the helm can pass you the jib sheet, or you could just lean in and get the jib sheet, and that's really nice to have a rope to hold on to once you're out. Also, now that I'm out, can see how loose my back strap is, so I could just tighten that up there. Nice. Okay, and then coming in, what we're going to do is first throw the jib sheet in. Second, we don't want the elastic between our legs, so we're just going to push that out of the way, and backhand on the handle, front hand ready to catch the side of the boat, swinging in, catching the side, lifting the leg and pulling up onto the boat like that, and there we are, back on board. Easy. Okay, so let's just go through that again. First step, we've hooked on. Second step, front hand on the side of the boat, and we're pushing away with the handle. We're then going to shuffle towards the edge of the boat until we're half trapezing, and then from there, back foot onto the side, we push out, front foot joins, and there we are out on the trapeze. We can let go of the handle, we can lean in and get the jib sheet. Okay, so coming back in again, hand on the handle, ready to catch the side of the boat. We've caught the side of the boat, we can lift the back leg, and there we are, back on. Okay, so the next stage would be to actually take the jib sheet with us when we go out onto the trapeze. Okay, so there's two ways that we could do this. One would be to leave plenty of slack in the jib sheet and have that in our hand with the handle. So then we're going over the edge, hand on the side of the boat, back foot comes up, and then bring the other foot up, and there we are. We've got the jib sheet. Okay, the other way we could do it, might find it a bit easier, is just to put the jib sheet on the sidebar where you're going to put your hand. We can then hang over the edge. Our hand is with the jib sheet, which means we've already got it. And then what's good about having the jib sheet is, yes, it gives us some more stability. We can hold on to it and really brace ourselves against that, but we can also play the jib. So if we need to let the jib off, we can just flick the jib sheet up, that uncleats it, we can let the jib off, or we can pull the jib in from this position. If we're moving forwards and backwards on the boat, as we move further back, the pull that we feel is going to get slightly different. So the first thing, if I'm going to move back, I just need to pass the jib sheet to the other side of the trapeze. And then as I move back, I'm going to start feeling more of a pull towards the front of the boat, which means you can see already I'm having to bend the back leg, front leg straight to resist against that pull. And then the further towards the back that we go, the more that we're going to need to do that, bending the back leg, front leg straight. For extra stability, you can have your feet further apart, because that's going to make you a more stable triangular platform for your trapezing. So it will be quite obvious which way the pull is, so we just need to brace against the pull, and we're going to come back in. So moving the elastic, got a hand ready to grab the side of the boat, making sure there's nothing caught around our feet or between the legs, bending the legs, grabbing the side of the boat, pull up, and there we are, we're in. Okay, let's get on the water and see how it looks.
We're ready to get out for the first time. There's a very good wind. It's probably getting on for 20 knots, which to be honest is more than we need. All we need is enough wind to be able to get a little bit of heel on. Okay, and right, so first thing, same as on the land, I'm going to put the jib sheet up by the front beam, so I'll be able to get hold of that. Hooking on, back hand on the handle, front hand on the side of the boat, on the jib sheet. Okay, and you know, immediately you do feel that we're definitely not on the beach anymore, because the boat is moving around a bit. So for the first time, 10 knots would probably be better than 20. Okay, so then hanging my way on the trapeze, holding the handle just to keep my legs down, and then back foot onto the side of the boat, and then when we're ready, going to bring my front foot out, put it as wide as possible from the back foot. There we go, taking the jib sheet with us, and there we are, we're on the trapeze. Just moving the jib sheet to the other side of the shroud, bit easier that way. Okay, so I'm going to come back in. All right, so here we go, coming back in, back hand on the handle, front hand ready to catch the side of the boat, and here it comes, catching the side, pulling myself in, and there we go, first trapezing experience tick. Okay, let's go for it again. This time we're going to use the other way of taking the jib sheet, so I'm getting plenty of slack on the jib sheet, handle in the back hand again, front hand right up the side of the boat. The further up the side we go, the easier it's going to be. Then I'm stepping out with the opposite foot, feet nice and wide apart, and then there we are. And once we're out, we can lean back, don't have to hold on to the handle, lean back and enjoy the ride and enjoy this fantastic view. Now, if Holly was going to start sailing any further off the wind, like onto a reach, I would certainly want to start moving back along the hull, and we've got this bit of hull we can stand on here to enable us to get further back. Now, but if I needed to get further back, we can see here the tiller extension is going to be an issue. So in this current configuration, I should go above this one if we can. So we're going upwind a little bit here. So when we go upwind, we want to come further forwards, and then we're doing this back leg straight, front leg bent. So we're really restricting ourselves from going back, because the further forward we come, if we go upwind a little bit more, so as we go further upwind, the bow of the boat lifts more, which tries to send us backwards. So I need to come forwards to counterbalance that, which means bending the front leg more, back leg completely locked. So that is really stopping us from going backwards. But then as I come back more, got the feet more even, and then as we come back more, then front leg straight, back leg bent. All right, very nice. Woo. Okay, so as we're sailing along, we're going to encounter periods of stronger or less wind. So as we get into stronger wind and the hull starts to lift, then we really want to extend out. We could even chuck a hand up, pretend we're a dinghy sailor. Woohoo! And then if this wind drops, if you could simulate wind dropping, yeah, then we want to come in towards the boat. Otherwise we're going to start dragging in the water. Okay, now if you were sailing in waves and you felt that you're going to get hit by a wave, which could push you off the back, this is a top tip. Best way to resist it is to turn like this and kind of give it your buttocks, so you can really push against that wave that is pushing you backwards. All right. Woohoo! All right. Nice job. Right, so coming into a big hole, so I'm going to get closer into the boat, watching the bow. Bow's lifting a bit, so coming a little bit further forwards. And there we go. All right, so we're probably at the point where we need to turn around, so I'm going to come back in, just going to throw the jib sheet in, make sure there's nothing between my feet, ready to grab the side of the boat, and there we are. Okay, so there we go. That is how to trapeze on a Hobie 16. Now, there are other methods that you could use, but if you haven't trapezed before, this is the method that you should start with. Now, if you're ready to start looking at helming on the trapeze, check out this video here. Subscribe to Joyrider TV, subscribe to Joyrider Worldwide as well, and if you want to learn more, then take a look at the Joyrider Classroom series. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon with some more. And thanks very much to Holly for doing a great job steering.